Not so easy to be present sometimes, right? Not so easy to be available to what hasn't shifted, hasn't gestated, hasn't released. Difficult to be in transition, very difficult. I mean, we've been experiencing that for 2 years now, worldwide. And yet, that is always reality, each moment, as we become more and more awake to reality. Please cultivate patience with yourself. Impatience is a very subtle defense mechanism against avoiding where we do not want to put attention. We instinctually avoid giving attention to where we're truly called to go. And right here and now, it becomes quite obvious to experience that. So sitting still and being present, breathing. If there's anything that is in resistance, arising, see if you can gently bring attention to that with curiosity and fascination rather than fear and judgment. If you're paying attention to your nervous system, which I recommend, along with your breath, along with presence, if you're aware of presence, deeper connectedness, all of it at the same time. You'll notice that when you're afraid and you're judging, your nervous system contracts. It pulls in, it tightens up. So much of what's being communicated today in the public arena strengthens fear and judgment and contraction and separation, divisiveness. And yet, we do that to ourselves. So this is where the rubber hits the road, so to speak, where you can really bring attention to that and begin to bring a different attitude of curiosity and fascination, which actually allows opening. Even though you might be frightened, vulnerable, of course you are, when you're bringing attention to that which has been avoided in yourself. Our unconscious defense mechanisms will do anything but bring attention to where transformation is happening because we want to be comfortable and safe. But to truly be healed and to truly find happiness and fulfillment, we have to learn how to turn towards what's difficult rather than to push away. So the beginner's mind is important, and the mind that's curious and fascinated. Because when you're curious and fascinated, you become enlivened. You start to have more energy. You start to be more alive and vibrant. Your own mind, emotions, body, energy, spirit, it's an ecosystem. It's an unknowable infinite ecosystem connected to all ecosystems. I like to call it the psychic mycelium network. I don't know if you've seen that amazing film, Fantastic Fungi, which is so interesting. Incredible, really. But we're the same. We are also connected in deep webs of communication that when you tune in and you become aware of awareness, which we do here and happens here, we feel connected, even though we're all over the world. How amazing. How mind-blowing, how unknowable that is. It's a mystery. And I can tell that we've needed, I can feel a kind of heaviness in the room, a kind of, it's been a while since we've been together and I'm glad we're back. I was looking forward to it, even though it might be a little heavy for a bit. That's okay. Don't let that fool you and discourage you, even though it might be triggering you. But rather get out of the mind that concludes about it and be honest with yourself right now. What is it in myself right now that's saying, please be here? What's crying out to you for attention right now? What is sort of gently beeping you in the background of your being? That subtle feeling you don't want to have, or that discomfort you don't want to feel. What if you just became like fog enveloping the landscape and just gave it some moisture of attention, some light of sunlight of attention, and let it find its way to germinating, rooting, growing and flourishing and flowering, rather than thinking you're running the show. The mind that believes it's running the show has brought humanity and this planet to the brink of extinction. The ego mind. So, fortunately, that's not the only option. So allow yourself to be here right now. Allow opening to open naturally by itself. And get out of the driver's seat of the knower. The knower, the one who makes conclusions and judgments, is the sufferer, is the source of all suffering. So open to the vulnerability of not knowing and find freedom, find happiness, find peace. How can you give up the struggle? How can you give up the identity, the conditioned identity? Well, honestly, that's not your job. Because that which is identified is holding on literally for dear life. But the fact that you're here, that you can attune to a deeper awareness within yourself, is the promise of possibility. And even those moments of connectedness or awakened consciousness or peace are inspiring. So let yourself be here, let it work by itself, and you can just relax now. Give up trying to improve. Give up trying to be free. And just let that happen, because it will. It's a natural evolution of consciousness to be healed and transformed and liberated. That's just a natural growth pattern of our self. Being here supports that deeply, profoundly. So as we open up the dialogue soon, let yourself continue to just be here, whether you interact with me or not, whether you have a question or not, whether you get your question answered or not, or we sit together or not, Keep coming back. Keep bringing yourself back to this stillness, this fullness, this peace of being. And let everything else move as it moves, the feelings, the thoughts, the sensations, the energies. Keep returning to open mind.